You're 45, maybe 48. Hot flashes wake you up at 3 a.m. Your jeans don't fit. Your doctor smiles and says, "Welcome to menopause," hands you some pamphlets, maybe suggests hormone therapy. And you think, well, I guess this is just life now. But what if I told you your ovaries aren't the problem? What if those night sweats, that stubborn belly fat, the brain fog, the rage spirals? What if none of that is menopause? What if your body's been screaming about insulin for years and everyone's been blaming your hormones? Because here's what actually happens. Insulin resistance looks exactly like menopause. Same symptoms, different cause. And while menopause is inevitable, insulin resistance is fixable. Today, we're breaking down how your body's been sending the wrong signals. And once you understand the real problem, everything changes. Let's find out from the inside. So here's the typical story. You hit your mid-40s and your body starts acting like a stranger. Hot flashes during Zoom calls. Weight piling on your middle even though you're eating the same. Sleep falling apart. Energy tanking by 2 p.m. Mood swings that would make a teenager jealous. You Google it. Everything says menopause. Your friends say menopause. Your doctor says menopause. Case closed, right? Except menopause doesn't usually hit until 51. And perimenopause, the warm-up act, it's more subtle. It doesn't slam you like this. But when you're a woman over 40, every symptom gets filed under hormones going haywire. It's the medical equivalent of turning it off and on again. Here's what's really happening inside. Think of your body like a house with two electrical systems. One's powered by estrogen and progesterone, your sex hormones. That system's dimming gradually, on schedule. The other system, powered by insulin, it's short-circuiting, sparking, overheating. And when that insulin system goes haywire, it creates the exact same symptoms everyone's blaming on menopause. Your pancreas, the quiet engineer in the basement, has been working overtime for years. Insulin's been knocking on your cells' doors, delivering sugar packages. But your cells stopped answering. They put up "do not disturb" signs. So insulin just keeps knocking, louder, more frantically. And that creates chaos everywhere. The symptoms aren't lying. Your body is struggling. But the villain isn't your ovaries. It's insulin resistance wearing a menopause costume. And once you see the difference, you can actually fix it. So how did insulin become the villain? Let's rewind and see where this story really starts. Your 20s. Insulin's job is easy. You eat carbs, blood sugar rises, insulin shows up and says, "I got this." Cells open their doors. Sugar goes in, blood sugar drops. Everyone's happy. It's a well-oiled machine. But here's what nobody mentions. Every year, the demands increase. More sugar, more processed carbs, more stress keeping cortisol high, more late-night snacks. Insulin's workload doubles, then triples. It's like asking the same employee to handle 5 departments with no extra help. Your cells, they start getting overwhelmed. Too many sugar deliveries, too much insulin knocking. So they do what anyone would do when they're flooded with work. They start ignoring the messages. Insulin resistance isn't your cells being lazy. It's them protecting themselves from overload. But your pancreas doesn't get the memo. It sees blood sugar still high and thinks, insulin must not be working hard enough. So it makes more, way more. Now you've got insulin flooding your system like spam emails. Your cells double down on ignoring it, and you're stuck in a vicious cycle. Here's where it connects to your symptoms. High insulin has opinions, strong ones. It tells your body, store fat, especially around the middle. Keep that fat locked up, we might need it. Stay hungry, we're clearly starving. Mess with every other hormone in the building. And your other hormones? They're trying to work, but insulin's crashing every meeting. Estrogen's trying to regulate temperature. Insulin says, hot flash time. Progesterone's trying to help you sleep. Insulin says, let's wake up at 3 a.m. in a pool of sweat. Leptin's trying to tell you you're full. insulin puts it on mute. It's not menopause creating this chaos. It's insulin resistance hijacking your entire hormone system. Your ovaries are just bystanders watching the disaster unfold. And the scariest part? This can start in your 30s, even your 20s. By the time you hit 45, insulin's been running the show for a decade. Your body's just finally showing the damage. But here's where it gets interesting. Because once you know insulin's the problem, you can actually see how it creates every single symptom your doctor blamed on menopause. Let's walk through what this actually looks like as it's happening. Start with the belly fat that won't budge. You're eating less, maybe even working out more. But your waist keeps expanding like someone's inflating a life raft around your middle. That's not menopause. That's high insulin screaming store fat here. Here's what actually happens. Insulin is your body's storage hormone. When it's constantly elevated, it locks fat away like a security system on maximum alert. Vault sealed. Access denied. No withdrawals allowed, especially around your organs. That visceral fat, the kind that sits deep in your belly, it's insulin's favorite project. And the more insulin you have, the more that fat becomes untouchable. Your estrogen drops a little with age, sure. But insulin resistance, that's adding 10, 15, 20 pounds of pure belly fat and handcuffing your metabolism so you can't burn it off. Then there are the 3 a.m. wake-up calls. You fall asleep fine, then boom, wide awake at 3 in the morning, heart racing, sweating, wired. Everyone says night sweats, classic menopause. Nope, that's your blood sugar crashing. When insulin's too high during the day, your blood sugar plummets at night. Your body panics. It dumps cortisol and adrenaline to bring sugar back up. That's your wake-up alarm, courtesy of insulin resistance. Your body literally thinks it's having an emergency. Because from the inside, it is. Estrogen helps you sleep, yes, but stable blood sugar is what keeps you asleep. Mess with insulin and you're getting up every single night. Next comes the brain fog and mood crashes. Can't find words. Forget why you walked into a room. Rage at your family for breathing too loud. Cry at commercials. Must be hormones, right? Wrong. Your brain runs on glucose. When insulin resistance screws up blood sugar delivery, your brain's running on fumes. It's like trying to think clearly while your phone's at 2% battery. Every decision, every thought, every emotional response takes 10 times the effort. High insulin also messes with serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals that keep you calm and happy. So you're not just forgetful, you're irritable, anxious, and depressed, all blamed on menopause, all actually insulin. And finally, the energy collapse. You used to power through afternoons. Now you need 3 coffees just to make it to lunch. You're exhausted but wired, tired but can't sleep. That's not your hormones fading. That's your cells literally starving while swimming in fuel they can't access. Insulin resistance means your mitochondria, your cellular power plants, can't get the fuel they need. It's like having a full gas tank but a broken fuel pump. The energy's there, your cells just can't use it. So you drag through every day feeling like you're moving through mud, and everyone keeps saying, well, you're getting older. No, you're insulin resistant. But here's the question nobody's asking. Okay, so if it's not menopause, why does every doctor miss this? And how do you know which one you actually have? Here's the dirty secret. Most doctors run one test: fasting blood sugar. If it's under 100, they say you're fine. Case closed. But fasting blood sugar is the last thing to go wrong. It's like checking if your house is on fire by seeing if the roof's collapsed yet. By the time your fasting blood sugar is high, you've been insulin resistant for years, maybe a decade. All those symptoms already happening, damage already done. But the test says normal, so you get sent home with menopause pamphlets and a shrug. What they should be testing is insulin levels, not glucose. Insulin, specifically fasting insulin, because your body will crank insulin up to keep blood sugar normal for as long as possible. You can have perfect blood sugar and sky-high insulin. That's the whole problem. A fasting insulin over 10? Red flag. Over 15? Houston, we have a problem. Over 20? You've been insulin resistant for years, and nobody noticed. So, how do you tell the difference between menopause and insulin resistance? Simple. Menopause is gradual. Insulin resistance is sudden and severe. Menopause gives you occasional hot flashes. Insulin resistance gives you night sweats every single night. Menopause might add 5 pounds over a year. Insulin resistance adds 15 in 6 months, all on your belly. And here's the kicker. Even if you are in menopause, fixing insulin resistance can make those symptoms dramatically better. We're talking 50 to 80% improvement for most women. Because insulin was amplifying everything. Your estrogen might be dropping, but insulin was turning the volume to 11. The real test? Change your insulin levels and watch the symptoms disappear. That's how you know. And the best part? Unlike menopause, which you can't reverse, insulin resistance is completely fixable. You don't need hormone therapy. You don't need to suffer. You just need to stop feeding the insulin monster. So how do you actually fix this? The fix is simpler than you think. Let's get practical. The first thing you need to do is stop snacking between meals. This is the hardest pill to swallow, but it's also the most powerful. Every time you eat, insulin spikes. Doesn't matter if it's healthy. Apple slice, insulin. Handful of almonds, insulin. Protein shake, insulin. If it has calories, insulin shows up. When you snack every 2 hours, insulin never gets a break. It's like keeping your car engine running 24/7. Eventually, something breaks. The fix is 3 meals, no snacks. That's it. Give your body 4 to 5 hours between meals where insulin can drop. That's when your cells finally start listening again. That's when fat burning turns back on. That's when your other hormones get to do their jobs without insulin crashing the party. Start with 1 day, just 3 meals. Watch how much better you feel. The hunger you think you'll die from, it fades after 15 minutes. No, that's not real hunger. That's insulin resistance throwing a tantrum because it's losing control. Beyond that, eat protein and fat first, carbs last. When you eat carbs first, blood sugar spikes fast. Insulin rushes in like the building's on fire. When you eat protein and fat first, digestion slows down. Blood sugar rises gently. Insulin strolls in calmly. Same meal, completely different insulin response. This is the hack that makes everything else easier. Eggs before toast, chicken before rice, nuts before fruit. Your body absorbs the same nutrients, but insulin stays stable instead of spiking. It's like taking the stairs instead of jumping off the roof. Same destination, way less damage. Even if you can't give up carbs, this one change can cut your insulin response by up to 40% in some studies. That's huge. And here's the last piece. Move after you eat. Your muscles are insulin's favorite clients. They actually want the sugar. When you move after eating, your muscles soak up glucose without needing much insulin. It's like having a second disposal system that doesn't require the broken one. Just 10 minutes. Walk around the block. Do dishes, take the stairs. Anything that gets your muscles contracting. You'll clear that blood sugar spike before insulin has to work overtime. This is how you can eat carbs and still improve insulin sensitivity. Not by avoiding them forever, but by using your muscles to handle them. 3 simple changes. Stop snacking, eat protein first, move after meals. Do this for 2 weeks and watch your symptoms change. The night sweats ease up. The belly fat starts softening. The brain fog lifts. Your body stops fighting you and starts working with you again. You walked in here thinking menopause was your destiny, that these symptoms were just getting older, and you'd have to live with them. But now you know different. Your ovaries aren't broken. Your body isn't failing. You're not weak or broken or past your prime. You're insulin resistant. And that's fixable. Stop snacking. Eat protein first. Move after meals. 3 simple rules that target the real problem. Not menopause. Insulin. Do this for 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. And watch your body respond. Because once insulin backs off, everything else falls into place. The sleep returns. The weight starts moving. The fog lifts. Your body remembers how to work. Your pancreas can finally take a break. Your cells start listening again. Your other hormones get to do their jobs without insulin hijacking every system. The chaos settles. The signals line up. And suddenly, your body's not fighting against you anymore. You didn't need hormone therapy, you needed the truth. You're not in menopause, you're insulin resistant. And now you know exactly what to do about it.